There we go. All right, man. I'm here with Greg Henderson, man. Funny man, comedian extraordinaire. I just hosted him last night and tonight at Comedy Zone in Cherokee. Man, we had a blast, man. It's actually my third time. And every time I host Greg, man, he had the crowd eating out his hand. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if they can't understand him half the damn time, but you know what I mean? But he have him eating out his hand every time, man, and it's always a pleasure to see him work, man. Hey, welcome, Greg, man.
Hey, bro, good to be back and see you, man.
Yes, sir, man. So, like, this is my first episode of the MaggotBrain experience, man, and where we go to show you the other side of comedy, talk about some shit in the comedy game that y'all don't see. I know y'all see a lot of like your famous comedians and y'all think, but man, we out here grinding, man. We in Cherokee in the mountains.
Yep.
How many times a year you come out here, man?
About twice a year.
About twice a year.
Yeah. About twice a year. But it's a good experience, so I don't mind at all, man. You know, Wednesday through Sunday, usually good shows, nice accommodations, so you can't complain.
Yeah, man. Like I said, I just recently got the job as a resident host out here, man, and I'm out here at least 3 times a week myself, and I love the experience. I love the audience because it changes almost every day.
Yeah, and that keeps it sharp, man. You know, because I know a lot of people. You know, they do a set, and it's just for whatever city they live in. They can do a set they can kill in this town, but they can't go nowhere else with it because everything's all crafted and geared towards the city they live in. You know,
okay.
So yeah, you know, doing versatile crowds, man, it only make you stronger as a comedian.
How long you been doing comedy?
Too long.
Too long.
Yeah, too
long.
Yeah,
well, man, got that. Hey, look, there's a lot of hungry people. Don't say there's a lot of hungry people out there that are happy to take your spot, boy. Take them bookers.
I bet they would. I'd say realistically, man, about 15 years.
Okay.
About 15 years, you know. I say that give or take, because I didn't always focus on it. You know, I would do it and fall out and then come back to it, you know. But I would say consistent, probably about 10, 11 good consistent years.
Okay. And so like I've only been doing it 5 years, and honestly, this is my first consistent work right here, this hosting job. Well, actually, no, I ain't gonna say that, because I hosted down in Fayetteville, where I hosted you at the first time. You know what I'm saying? And I hosted them for about 8 months before I moved away from there. So I ain't gonna say that's my, you know what I mean? Because you know, out here on this comedy grind, you know what I'm saying, consistent work is what you want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when I say getting that consistent work, what tricks did you find out help you get consistent work at that? You know what I'm saying? You being in consistently right now, 10 years.
It's changed so much now, man, because you used to be able to get work different places, move around. Now you have so many headliners to bring their own features, it's hard to get that work you used to get.
Right, okay.
When trying to get work, you know, basically we just old way of emailing bookers,
right.
Almost to the point of pestering them. Hey man, I emailed you last week, emailed you 2 weeks ago. You know, they got to see your name. They got to see you out here doing something for them to take you serious, so they know you're just not somebody just wasting their time. And, you know, trying to get into clubs, trying to get in like the book agencies like Comedy Zone, Funny Business, man, you just got to keep pestering them, showing them, you know, hey, I'm out here working, sending in, you know, new tape, let them know you got different material, until they finally say, hey, man, hey, all right, we got a date here. Go try it out and see what happens.
Right.
You got to keep bothering them, man. A lot of folks like, man, I emailed that dude last week. He didn't even respond.
And I think a lot of people get it twisted, you know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I've been on, you know what I'm saying, a lot of different comedy scenes, you know what I mean? And it's different getting consistent travel work than getting consistent local work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
Absolutely.
you got a lot of local producers, you know what I'm saying? They book people from the scene, but that consistent travel work where you get that exposure, you know what I'm saying? So that's what you're saying. You got to reach out. You outside that little circle.
You got to go to them, and they're not coming to you. You know, the best thing you can hope for these days, man, is you happened to get a gig with a top headliner, and he say, man, I like what you're doing. You want to go on the road with me?
Okay.
That alleviated a lot of that. But otherwise, man, you got to just, once you get in with somebody, you got to get in, you got to stay in, you got to do your job, and you got to keep saying, hey, man, bring me back.
Right.
Featuring most places can get you in maybe twice a year.
Right.
So you get your consistent work there, you go in, you do a good job, and keep moving up. They'll see you. Now, trying to take that next step from milling to headlining, a lot of those spots being eaten up, man, because, if you can't put asses in seats, ain't like they can do what you these days.
Right. Okay. So, all right. So, like, I got the hosting job, and I'm very, fortunate to have it. But like, hosting isn't. I like a lot of every comic don't go through that hosting spot. Did you go through a hosting?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. A lot of people don't want to go through it, but it's part of the process. But if you a good host, I'm talking about that. If you a good to great host, a lot of clubs will try to hold you there because people don't understand how important a good host is to a show.
Right.
I mean, the host is the guy that sets the tone for the show. If you have a host and the crowd doesn't like the host, some of that can rub off on the other guys.
Okay.
Because you're the host, you open the show.
Okay.
You bring up the feature. You got to come back and bring up the headliner.
Right.
You got to come back and close the show.
Yes, sir.
So if they don't like you or your energy, that makes for a bad night for everybody else.
Cause you the start, middle, open, so you really gotta yeah. It's been between Patty's and now, and I have produced a couple shows. It's been, but like that hosting, it's a fine line between I mean really truly, I know clubs, and I was involved in one time that would actually hold you into a hosting spot because you're a good host. I was working for this club, and Lil Rod had a chain called Looney Bin. He basically told me, he said, man, I need you there because you did such a good job getting the show started. He was like, I'm gonna eventually move you up, but I need you to go, do a couple more rounds. Sometimes you gotta do the job.
You gotta do it. Eventually you'll get bumped up, man. I've seen too many shows where the host ruins the show. When I was coming along, he sound like no old guy, but they had like certain standards for a host. Like a host, couldn't curse.
Right. Okay.
Go well above beyond.
Yeah.
Your job is just open the show, get a few jokes, break the ice, move along. Now you got guys hosts can do more set, and there's a lot of funny hosts. But some guys, you can't do all the filth, all the cussing up front. Leave some for the headline and a little bit for the feature.
I learned I think it was probably my first show here, man. I ended up doing a abortion joke. You know what I'm saying? As the host, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And which, you know what I'm saying? It didn't ruin because it was a good joke.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? But that's like, as a host, you gotta learn that's a touchy subject. You might not want to bring your next comic up on. Like you said, your host energy can boom, you know what I'm saying? A show like that.
Okay. Now, this is just my humble opinion from what I've seen from being out on the road working with different clubs, different places, different race, ethnicity. Here's the thing about a host, and this is what I try to tell people, the hosts, because you're starting out there. And even for some features, you have to know what you're doing. You got to have a good grip on your material.
Right.
A lot of people have a problem. Is they trying to go from rookie level to expert level, at the host of a middle position.
Right.
And when I say that, what I mean is, you might have a funny joke, okay, but as the host, you're usually getting about 10, 12 minutes.
Right.
As a feature, you're usually getting about anywhere from like 20 to 30, somewhere in there.
Right.
If you do a joke and it doesn't land and you turn the crowd off, now you got to dig out that hole you just put yourself in to try to get them back on your side.
Okay.
A headliner has 45 to an hour. So if he goes
to a hole
in some, he has time to bring them back and get the crowd back on his side.
Okay.
And what I try to tell, especially younger hosts, the most important thing you should have as a host and a feature is likability.
Okay.
Because if the crowd, like I said, the crowd doesn't like you,
right.
whatever. if the crowd likes you, you can tell any type of joke you want.
Okay.
Because they understand, okay, we like this guy. He's not really an a-hole.
Okay.
You know, he said some things in the front, so we know it's all in jest.
Okay.
You know, other than, you know, you have an MC or a feature, you know, trying to be Corey Holcomb or trying to be Bill Burr.
Okay.
Well, think about it. Nobody came to see you. Your face wasn't on the marquee. They didn't spend $25, $30 to come see you. They came to see the guy who name they put on the side of the building.
Indeed. So
your job is to just be a pleasant surprise and make them like, wow. You know, like if you go out to order something and you're going to get steak, then you had the best baked potato you ever had in your life.
Okay.
Like, damn, that baked potato was good tonight, wasn't it?
It went good with that steak.
It complimented the steak, and that's your job. So
you put too much hot sauce on the doggone baked potato, it go. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. You know, and that's what people. A lot
I don't know who the hell
understand.
put hot sauce on baked potato.
Yeah, some people strange stuff. So, and that's what some people got to understand.
Right.
You know, there's a difference in being funny and trying to help the show and trying to be funny and trying to take over. You cannot out funny the headliner has a host. It's just not gonna happen.
Right. Okay.
So,
but that's like that book. What that boy Powers of Law. You know what I'm saying? Don't outshine. You know what I'm saying? Don't outshine. You know what I'm saying? The star. Don't outshine the star.
But here's the thing though. Everybody wants you to do well. Nobody wants to see an MC bomb or a feature bomb. They want you to do well. But there's limits and ranges of what.
And when you start to overstep, you put yourself in a position not to do well. It's not that they don't want you to do well. They know they know where you at better than you know where you at.
See, and here, this is what some folks don't understand. It's like, for example, like D.L. Hughley. Okay, D.L. Hughley has a group he brings with him now. Very funny cats.
Right.
He doesn't restrict them. He like, go out there and do your thing, knock them off. And as soon as DL come out, he'll say, give it up for so-and-so, give it up for so-and-so. All right, let's get them out the way now. Because there's nothing you can do that's going to outshine DL. Because they paid the money to see DL.
Okay.
You know, you can do a great job, they can walk away saying, that boy in front was good.
But they
I
came
came.
To see DL. Yeah,
you can light yourself on fire, and they not going to matter.
They won't call the ambulance.
They here for DL, you know. So you know, some guys, go do too much, trying to take over, trying to show how funny they are. When all you got to be is just complimentary funny tonight, and let the booker
your
see
time
you,
will come, let
the owner see you, let DL see you, and he give you a knowledge. Hey man, you funny, you got something. You know, he might do something for you, but when you try to hijack the show, it's probably not gonna go well for you.
It's a lot of crowd work in comedy now. Well, I mean, crowd work's always been in comedy, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's just more to the front, just because the internet, you can see everything, and you know what I mean, those interactions. What's your specific take on crowd work? No, not specific, but just like what you've experienced.
This what I think about crowd work. I've seen, because we were talking about MCs and stuff. I've seen MCs try to do crowd work, and I've seen some features try to do crowd work. Some features who maybe headline, maybe they can get away with it, but that's when you check, see what's going on. If the headliner is a crowd work guy, then everybody should leave it alone.
Okay.
An MC shouldn't do much crowd work. An MC should just open up the show, do their jokes, keep moving, bring the next person on.
Okay.
Some people, try to do crowd work and can't handle it. Some people, when you do crowd work, now you're starting to open up the audience to talking.
Yeah.
And then it becomes a problem when they won't shut up. And you can't control them or rein them back in.
Okay.
So now the next guy got to deal with it.
Yeah.
I was trying to tell, there was some lady I talked to after the show, and she was mentioning all the crowd work guys, because you watch it like Matt Wright, you watch Nate Jackson.
Right.
Some people think that's all they do.
Right.
The clips that they put online is at the end of the show. After they've already done the material.
And that's what it's getting to see. They're fooling the crowd. The crowd thinking they're supposed to be involved in the whole, you know what I'm saying, the whole show. So now people are just, but I guess it's just still a good old fashioned heckler. You just got to deal with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Some guys are brilliant. There's guys that can go out there and can just do 45 minutes of crowd work because they're so brilliant at it. Some guys, it's already planned. They got it in the can already. Know what they're gonna say. But some people actually make it up as they go along.
Right.
So, Nate Jackson been doing comedy 30 years.
Okay.
So he's a comedian. He does crowd work at the end. What guys started doing crowd work because you were putting your material up and other guys were stealing your material. Well, it's hard to steal crowd work.
Well, I think also everybody looking for that viral moment.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You'll go and it's harder to go viral for a joke than it is interaction with another. You know what I'm saying? Crowd. You know what I'm saying? Somebody in the crowd too. So I think a lot of that actually.
I mean that's what it's all about. I mean, I'm still middling, headlining, smaller clubs because I have no social media presence.
Right.
Sometimes I want to kick myself for not jumping on the social media bandwagon a long time ago.
Right.
But I'm like, whatever.
That should have full-time job though. You know what I'm saying?
It is. Some guys, that's why the guys who crowd work to keep putting stuff up. Keep having content instead of blowing, the actual set. We just keep putting up crowd work into the show. We keep pumping out content.
You can keep pumping out content. You can actually keep getting booked so you can pay the bills and got doggone. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I say, the crowd work. I'm still, like I say, the crowd work. I'm still on the fence about it. You know what I mean?
I mean, if it's something that you can do and you can handle it and it works and you get that that good crowd, then of course, like I say, if you get a good recording, and once again, that's my fault. I don't record myself enough. I don't have anything up online, really, on social media,
Right.
So.
Well, look, I'm introducing y'all the world to Greg Henderson right now because he gonna be on my dog. Hey, the nigga hella funny, man. I'm telling you, dog. Listen, we was in that bitch last night, dog. Greg had them motherfuckers busting guts, goddamn. I ain't lying, dog. Hey, Greg, hey. Don't never underestimate Greg Henderson. He's a funny motherfucker, right?
See, you got funny, and then you got famous.
Right.
It's like, I can name several guys that would wipe out most of the guys you see on TV all the time.
Right.
You work with them.
Yeah, most definitely.
Sean Jones.
Kill.
Machine gun. Kill anybody you put in front of him.
Yeah.
Back home, where I'm from, a guy named Prescott,
Okay.
OG coming in Memphis. Knock anybody block off, you put him, almost from you. You don't want to follow guys like this.
Okay.
But they have no social media presence. They're not on the internet like that. So nobody really knows. But you put them on the show, trust me, you got some vets that know these names that work with them.
No, man. Like, man, come on, man. Sean Jones, man. Sean Jones. I hosted Sean. Like I said, this is the first episode, so I gotta get Sean on here. I think he gonna be here next week.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, I think I ain't here next week. No, not next week. Week after that. But yeah, man, Sean, I straight murder, man. You, Sean, are two that I see in.
Don't put me in the same category with Sean. Sean Jones on a whole nother level.
But I'm just, look. I respect that, but I know I seen you. I know you had them bitches in there hollering last night, and I'm not, what I'm saying. I'm not comparing you two. But I watch him kill it and I watch you kill it.
Watching Sean Jones, I'm sitting there like a master class. Like, let me learn some more from this right here.
Yeah, I ain't Sean, but though, I seen Sean, man, I couldn't tell if he was freestyling or he was going on material, dog. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I seen it now.
That's how you know it's good.
You know what I'm saying?
Have the comic, you can't even tell.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. This stuff right here, man. Like I said, I know a lot of the old, like I call them, Comedy Zone vets. Sean Jones, Spanky Brown, rest in peace. Guy got me a lot of gigs, man.
Okay.
Guys like Dale Jones who come in a lot. These guys are like,
get to meet them soon.
You can drop them anywhere and they gonna be funny.
Okay.
OGs like Tyler Craig back in the day. R.I.P. again. These kind of guys, Steve Brown. These guys.
I done seen Steve out there. You know what I'm saying? Straight kill it too, you know what I'm saying?
Rodney Perry. These guys should be household names.
Yeah, them boys them all on straight animals that you name. And that's why I you know what I'm saying, I appreciate you coming on like you a beast, you know what I'm saying? I will not got doggone not say it, bro. You know what I'm saying? I done hosted you a few times and you straight, you know what I'm saying? A pleasure to watch. But I ain't got the, you know what I'm saying, the most, you know what I'm saying, this is a platform I want to build for people like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When we can come down here as, you know what I'm saying, men in comedy, you know what I'm saying, and got doggone chop it up about the real, you know what I mean? Because people think this shit easy. Man, it be traveling taxing on the motherfucker, you know what I'm saying?
You know, people don't understand, man, you fight and grind all day for 30 minutes to an hour on stage.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the time, you're like, what do I do with myself?
What do I do with myself?
What do I do?
You know what I mean?
Do I take a nap? You know, do I do something on
you
social
know what I'm
media?
saying? And then if you got vices,
Yep.
you know what I'm saying? You in different cities, you know what I'm saying? Like this really, like, if you ain't really prepared for what I call it a rock star lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? Like, but we far from rock stars.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But we far from rock stars, dog. You know what I'm saying?
And you know, the thing about rock stars, and I tell people all the time, you know, comedy is one of the hardest
art forms it is, bro. I think it's between comedy. Well, this is my thing, right? This is what I say. It's on two people that go keep your attention locked in for 45 minutes to an hour. That's a comedian and a goddamn preacher. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's a comedian and a preacher.
But see, what I tell people is, though, you know, doing this as compared to being a singer. Okay, well, you can be a singer and you can say, you know what, my favorite song growing up was
I believe the children are our future. You know what I'm saying?
And you can do
Sasha Chocolate. You know what I'm saying?
You know, you can do that. But as a comedian, I can't say my favorite comedian growing up was Eddie Murphy, then come out and do Eddie Murphy jokes in the remix. It don't work.
Right.
So you can get famous by taking somebody else's song and putting your own spin on it. Brother, I like the way he did that song.
Well, I mean, I don't know. These niggas be stealing caves and shit, you know.
That's
Hey,
you know, somebody call you out on that.
Right.
Somebody call you out. I mean, you know, that's frowned upon. It's not frowned upon to do a cover. You know, you can't do cover jokes.
Right.
Song for somebody else.
So now, you know what I'm saying? I've dabbled with the thought of tribute jokes. You know what I mean? Because no. Because like, you know what I'm saying? Like I recognize, you know what I'm saying, the art of comedy. Like my favorite comedian is Red Fox.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I got you.
Red Fox got some classics out there that are being, you know what I'm saying? They're not the younger generation are not being exposed to.
Yeah, folks, they just don't know it yet.
They just don't know it yet.
A lot of people still doing Red Fox material.
Right. See, but that's what I'm saying. Like that's what I'm saying. Like I would want, you know what I'm saying. Like if I did it, it would be like, you know what I'm saying. Okay, boom. You know what I'm saying. I would let it know these. You know what I'm saying. These are contributed from Red Fox. You know what I'm saying. Type shit. Because I really like Fox. You know what I'm saying. Like the way he did it, and like even him like in the god doggone casino, you know what I'm saying? He was doing the casino, you know what I'm saying? Like me hosting at the casino, and I'm like, you know what I'm saying? It's really, you know, yeah.
So you, this is not to badmouth anybody, but he did the joke, Michael Collier. Ain't no need for the joke to die just because the person totally died. You know.
Right.
Michael Collier tell a Red Fox joke, like he attributed to Red Fox.
Yeah.
Ain't no need for that joke to die to Red Fox. Let me keep that joke alive.
Right.
That's what
I guess I'm saying the same thing. Shit. My bad.
Yeah.
I ain't no stealing jokes, niggas.
It happens, man.
But now, you know what I'm saying? What you gotta do? Put on. I just gotta put. Hey, listen to Red Fox when people come over the house. Put it on YouTube. Yeah, man.
You know, man. You know, anybody watching this, you know, they probably looking at me saying, "What is he saying?" You know, I sound funny. The first 3 or 4 years I was doing comedy, you know, I was going away from it, and somebody told me, like, why aren't you making jokes about that, man? You know,
right.
I was in the room when the guy was doing the open mic set. The headliner was a headliner was in the room. The guy was doing the joke. The guy was doing the joke. He had Party's On was missing.
Okay.
So he was doing jokes about other things. He made jokes about butterflies and rainbows.
Right.
And you know, he got a couple of chuckles. But when he got off stage, the headliner was like, "So you got no jokes about that arm missing, huh?"
This man, there's no jokes about, you know what I'm saying?
You know,
you gonna let, we just look, we waiting on that story.
Yeah, the dude got offended. You know, he was like, "I'm not trying to offend you, but you can't go out there with half an arm and not talk about it.
Not say nothing about it.
That's the elephant in the room. Yeah. You know, you got to have some jokes about that arm, bro. Yeah. You know, so I'm like, you know what? Okay, I got to start talking about the way I sound.
Okay, but so all right, so I'm finna play devil's advocate here though. I mean, so you saying the man got no arm, a big black ass nigga get on stage, I mean he gotta tell some big black ass nigga joke.
I mean, if it, I mean, think about it.
No,
Lavelle Crawford, Bruce Bruce.
Oh yeah, yeah. And see, but that's another thing I get, because I'm that what they call self-deprecating.
Yeah.
That it's kind of hard for me to do that shit though.
Well, see, here's the thing. It's just like people always say, you know, like it's kind of hard to bully a black kid that grew up in a family because you got, you know, for people talk about you, probably your family. So it make you a little tougher.
Yeah.
When you go out there in the real world, so they're trying to check you like, man, my daddy had better jokes than that. Come on, what you doing, bro?
Right.
You know, so. You know, it's self-deprecating, and then it's just pretty much you just devaluing yourself. Right. You know, so you know.
Right, cause like I guess because like I said, I'm dark as hell. You know what I'm saying? So I grew, growing up. I got you know what I'm saying, jokes about being black as hell growing up. You know what I'm saying? This, that, and the third. You know what I mean? But I usually end up with, you know what I'm saying, all the bitches like black niggas nowadays type something. You know what I mean? Try to up myself.
But here's the thing about it though. Doing it takes it away from them, disarms them. Right. You know, it lets them know that you have insecurities about yourself. Not so much insecurities, but you can make fun of yourself. Right. So if I can make fun of myself, if I make fun of this lady sitting over here,
she shouldn't be able. It's not, nobody's off limits.
Right.
And not even myself.
Exactly.
Not even
I've opened up to you.
Yeah.
You see what kind of person I am. So you see this is all in jest now. It goes back to likability.
But I mean, again, you absolutely right. Like, and that's another thing people don't understand about this comedy. It's a joust. You know what I'm saying, with the audience, man. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of us, you know what I'm saying, want to say outrageous things. You know what I'm saying, and live on the edge of what we say. You know what I'm saying, with what we say. So we got to be able to let them know, like you say, it's in jest. I mean it, but goddamn, ha! You know what I'm saying?
You know, people say, you know, hey man, he told that joke. That's too soon. Nah, no such thing as too soon.
Right.
No such thing as jokes you can't make. Can you make them funny?
Can you make them funny?
That's the difference. It's just like, you know.
All right, so because we were talking earlier, and we were talking politics in the green room earlier, and you got, you know what I'm saying. I felt your tension, so I'm gonna ask you. What's your take on other races using the word nigga?
I don't know, and I even know it now, but probably Bill Burr probably had the best N-word joke in the business. He's a white guy.
Right.
Married to a black woman. It was going to show you that you can make anything funny.
Right. Like, because as a comedian, I don't think it's up to us to, you know what I'm saying? Like, obviously we all feel some type of way, but it's not up to us, you know what I'm saying, to police art. I mean, some people would say it is, but I think that's up to the fucking promoter in the venue.
See, here's the thing about that. There are places I've been where they do open mics and somebody will say something and, you know, the comics will try to rein this person in or say what you can't say. Here's the litmus test. If you say it into the microphone, did the crowd laugh? Right. That's all you need to know. I don't care if you didn't like it. I don't care if she didn't like it.
Right.
Did the crowd laugh? That's all it comes down to.
See, but that's so again, that's another thing about as far as a comedian too now. And when I say that scene comedy thing, because if you go in a room with all comedians and you trying to do the N-word joke at the open mic, that is your crowd at that moment. At that moment,
yeah.
So how they react is how you get now. See, now you, cause that's what I'm saying. Like, you got to work on stuff, but that's me. You got to read your room. You got to read your audience, and you know these niggas is competing with you on the scene shit anyway.
But see, that's the thing too. If you go in open mic and it's just 12 people there and 6 of them comedians,
right?
You hate to do it, but you kind of sort of play into the back of the room because you got other, you got like-minded people, and pretty much, if you can make another comedian laugh, you know you're on to something.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
I don't normally play for the back of the room, but if I'm trying something new and a couple of comedians laugh, I just put check like that might have some legs on that one right there, because if I can make them buttholes back there laugh.
I'm arrogant though, Greg. Cause like if I write it, it's funny. Cause I'm you know what I'm saying. I grew up you know what I'm saying. Like I noticed like little shit in movies that's funny too. You know what I'm saying. Like that you know what I'm saying. I noticed that shit. So I know if I'm in a room full of comedians and I don't get one on the laugh, it might just be because I'm in a room full of comedians too.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Well, this I told guys working with this before, I never sat down and wrote anything I didn't think was funny.
Right.
Now when I got to the mic, the crowd let me know it wasn't funny. So I need to throw that one away.
Right.
But when I wrote it,
it was funny.
It was funny to me. It tickled me when I wrote it. Nobody came up here and said it.
Right.
Y'all didn't think so guess what? Let me
put that
away. Or either take it to the shop, detail it, put some new tires on it.
A lot of shit barbershop funny now, comedy funny. You know what I'm saying? Well, we can sit right here and talk about some shit and we can crack up. But you try to take it to the stage, it won't bust a nut.
Well, see, that was the same thing that a lot of people learned when a lot of the internet comedians, social media comedians try to go from doing skits, try to go to the stage. It doesn't always translate.
Right.
Now you probably need some time to work on it to make it funny. It might get there, but just going, from boom. Yeah, you gotta take that thing. You gotta polish it up a little bit to get it to work.
Yeah.
So,
cause just telling the story, telling the story and performing the story are two different things. Yep. And no matter what, we up there talking, but stand-up comedy is a performance.
But see, here's the thing about stand-up comedy. Everybody in their family got somebody that's funny.
Right.
Everybody got a funny uncle at the barbecue.
Right.
Funny co-worker, whatever.
Right.
And sometimes they have funny stuff, but you have people at the cookout laughing at something that Uncle Jim did 30 years ago.
Right.
We all laughing because we know about it, we know the history of it, we know the background of it. So we talk to Jim, he'll tell that same story, and we'll keep laughing.
Yeah.
Okay. Now.
And we drunk as hell and everybody comfortable with each other.
See,
in the house, you know what I'm saying, in the family.
Okay,
yeah.
So you live in South Carolina, all right? So they call you and say, hey, man, I got this gig, I want you to do in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Okay, can you make these strangers in Minnesota laugh like you make the people in Rock Hill laugh?
White strangers.
Does it matter?
No, they in Minnesota. I just figured they might.
Does it translate from
right
to
Minnesota? Yeah.
So. And the difference is, the difference between me, you, and the guy at the barbershop is, we sucked it up and got the nerve to get on stage and do it in front of a mic.
Okay.
The guy at the barbershop probably never will. I know comedians that, and they'll tell you, it's guys at the barbershop, and you got to watch it with comedians too, because we be sitting around chopping it up and be like, hey man, that's funny. You going to use that? Because you ain't going to use it, I'm going to take it to the stage.
Right. Yeah.
And you got some guys sitting in the room with you, comedians, while you laughing, chopping it up, sitting in the back.
Listen, yeah. Bro, I've been places, you know what I'm saying, and I was like, I've seen motherfucking comedians like put their camera on me. Like, I don't know if they was like just looking there, you know what I'm saying, positioned on the stage, but you know what I'm saying, you're like, goddamn, cuz, you know what I'm saying?
And it's the same thing like somebody say, well, that's my joke. It's like, these days, it really started in the 90s or the early 2000s, it's like whoever got it to fame first. Like, we could both have the same type of joke, but if I got on Def Comedy Jam before you, it's my joke now.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Because, like, you got to think, man, you know what I'm saying, Donald Trump, you know what I'm saying, being president twice. You know what I'm saying, Donald Trump done had a lot of shit. Everybody got to grab and push a joke. You see what I'm saying? Like, you see what I'm saying? But everybody got to grab pussy joke. You know what I'm saying? So, like, how is that your joke? You know what I mean?
Well, that his train of thought is like, how did you say it versus how I said it? How did you spin it? Put your own spin on it. It's like like everybody got kids. Most people got kids. Most people got a wife.
Right,
but what is your point of view? How did you spin it? In a way that I did. Because it's my point of view. It had to come out of me. It had to come from me. Yours is different. Now sometimes we have same way, but even that happens sometimes. But it's different when I come to the open mic on Tuesday and I do the joke, then I come back next Tuesday. Now you got a joke. Well, you didn't have this last Tuesday when I was here, and yours sounds similar to mine. Except mine, I go down the street with Trump and take a left. You go down the street with Trump and take a right. I don't know. Now is that same thinking, or did you hear me say it? And then you came up with one, but you went over here with it.
Right.
To some people,
but that same way. Look, see, I think Ye owed me a bad dog. Kanye West. I promise you, dog, because like I put that shit on Facebook probably about 2 years ago, and I was asking, did any of my friends have an authentic Klan uniform? And I think the nigga seen my doggone post, nigga, and went and did that doggone Klan uniform. Yay, I need my bag, yay, you know what I'm saying? You stole my idea, you know what I'm saying? I did it first.
Well, that would, that's something that's very popular. A lot of guys in Hollywood been fired because you working for the the TV shows, the night show, daily show, whatever. You got to have content.
Right.
So a lot of guys, can't really think of nothing, so they sit out there just cruising the internet and see what somebody else said, take it, boom, there you go, take that. So you think
they probably.
Some of them got fired for it.
I gotta quit putting my shit on the goddamn internet. I'm helping you fucking writers out because my writing is dope now.
It's cases of it where guys were like, hey man, that joke. Somebody did that joke on Instagram, today at 8:30. You turned it in to so-and-so to say tonight at 4.
Okay. You've been scrolling goddamn Twitter.
Yeah, because there's people there to say funny stuff, and they don't know that, like, once again, they don't know they funny, and they would never have the courage
to get on stage and do it. Yeah. I mean, I do see that, and you know what I mean? And because, like, even with that skit shit, and that's what I'm saying. So, like, that's really why, see, that trending shit. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, everybody's doing the same skits.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody's doing the same skits. You know what I'm saying? And they just changing the costumes or whatnot. I seen the little crazy white woman doing the Judge Judy gangster shit. But even though, like, even that shit, everybody is getting paid to fucking lip sync on the internet, bro.
See, that's why I don't have on social media, because I haven't thought of anything like original to do, because everything's pretty much been done. You have guys, what's his name? Was it Jason Banks? Jason Banks, had this character. We had the little kid, one of them was blind, one was the son, and another little friend. And Jason would put his content out, and folks would share it, and he'd get likes and views.
Right.
But you had people out there with getting more likes and views than the original creator by redoing it and just lip syncing what he had already done.
Right.
And then Jason would go and complain, and they would ban him. It's like, how can you ban the creator of the original content because he complained that you let somebody else do it?
He make more money out of his shit.
Yeah.
And then I can't even post one of these little funky ass videos with somebody's song in it because they want to tell me, like, you know what I'm saying? And like, I'm like, I don't know, man. This internet shit is the devil, man. This internet shit is the devil.
Look.
Or we just old. A little bit of both.
This is how I think about comedy now and the way they doing comedy now. I can't remember what year it was. My wife and I, we were on our anniversary trip. We were in Chicago.
Okay.
We were going around doing things. And, I wasn't really traveling as a comedian. I was still trying to figure it out. But anytime we went to a bigger city somewhere, whatever my wife wanted to do, we did. And my thing was I want to go to the comedy club.
Okay.
So we in Chicago. We go to the Improv. I'm like, I just want to see the Chicago Improv. Dude on the marquee. I seen his name before. He's an older gentleman. Like, I didn't really know who he was, but I'm like, I just want to be
in the comedy era.
In the Improv.
Yeah.
So we standing outside online waiting to get in. A cab pull up. 4 people jump out the cab. They stand behind us. They talking, 2 couples. It's in there talking, and the guy said, "Hey man, do y'all know the guy headline tonight?" I'm like, "No, I just seen him. I told him his name. I'm like, I don't really know him, but you know, we just need to watch the show." He was like, "Yeah, us too." He said, "You know what? It's the Improv. I trust them. We'll have a good time." That's how I feel about comedy. If you put the phase on the marquee or put it on your calendar, if you have a name that's so established like Zany's in Chicago, people are gonna still come because they trust your brand and they trust that you're not gonna put any BS on your stage. And that's how I feel about comedy. It's like
it got saturated.
It's like, okay, so I don't have 1 million followers.
Right.
But if you should book me and put me on stage, the people that come there should trust your brand to know that you wouldn't put nobody who's not funny on your stage.
Because you're doing comedy shows every weekend.
So
you know what I mean?
You know.
But that's what I'm saying though. But that's that trendy shit. Everybody wants to be trendy. Everybody's looking for the viral moment. Everybody's making their business decisions based on the last viral moment.
But see, it's like we said before, you know, and comedy clubs are a business.
Right.
And, you know, I know a lot of guys say, you know, comedy clubs, you know, should respect comedy and they should do this. But at the end of the day, if they not putting the asses in the seats, they won't be there. You won't have that place to go there and work or do whatever.
True that.
So that I'll admit I was bitter with some of the internet comedians when they first started out. You know, because these guys, you know, a lot of them wasn't comedians.
Right.
And a lot of them were trying to figure it out. And I was bitter because I was figuring it out at open mics, you know, traveling an hour and a half, 2 hours, sometimes up to 3 hours, to go do 5 to 7 minutes, but you know, spending money on gas and having to buy something at the venue to help keep the venue open.
Right.
When these guys were coming along, they had, you know, internet following, they would come out on stage and they was eating doo-doo. But walking over the end of the night with like $4,500 to $5,000 plus merchandise because they put 200 asses in the seat that night on a Wednesday night. You know, which I couldn't do.
Right. Yeah.
So, you know, in the comedy club, like, you know, if you can put 200 asses in the seat on a Wednesday night, you can have every Wednesday in my book.
Yeah.
You know, and then they started to get a little better. Then they started giving them the weekends, and they started, you know, bringing people back out. So, you know, I'm not mad at them anymore. I'm not bitter anymore. I understand the process, but it's like some of them still don't quite have it yet, but they keep booking because they keep putting, you know, asses in the seat.
I like I said, man, but I'm trying to find my balance. I'm trying to find my balance because, like, even like this internet shit, man, it's a full-time job, and they want you to goddamn have a fucking niche.
It is.
And they want you to have a niche. You know what I'm saying? But then the fucking niche, then the algorithm changed 3 months into your fucking niche. You know what I'm saying? So you might have a fucking, you know what I'm saying, audience, but they not your audience, you know what I'm saying? Like, this shit crazy, man. And you know what I'm saying? I'm not scared of it, but I'm just saying, like, do I even really want to fuck with that part of the game? You know what I'm saying? Because the game already hard.
I don't at this point. Look, I'm 53.
Or do you have a choice?
I don't think at this point you don't have a choice, man.
Yeah.
I don't think you do. Not if you want to get to the next level where you're headlining consistently. You know, I don't think you have a choice, man. And a lot of people started doing cruise ships.
So okay. So this is a question I gotta ask because, like, you've been, like I say, you traveling consistent work. You know what I'm saying? As a comedian, 10 years in the game. When did you get that? You know what I mean? When did that come? You know what I'm saying? How long you been consistently traveling for 10 years?
Yeah, 10 or more now. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a repetition. You got to be out there. You got to do it. You know,
got to be likable, like you say.
Yeah. Well, you know, in this game, sometimes, you know, you got to take a small loss to get a little further ahead. You know, sometimes you got to, you know, go do something on your own to show people, you know, because if you reaching out to a club, you say, hey man, you know what? I live in Memphis, but guess what?
Right.
I'm gonna be in Jacksonville, Florida.
Okay.
I've been hitting you up. How about you let me get a guest set? And most folks be like, well, you know what? If they gonna be all the way down here from there, you know, let me give them a guest set, see what they can do. So you got to go and you got to kill the guest set.
Okay.
You know, maybe you know, you really truly you're a real good feature. Maybe you got to humble yourself and say, hey man, let me MC, show you what I can do.
Right.
You know, sometimes you got to bite the bullet, maybe take a small loss, then see you and you catch it up on the back end. You know, but think about it. If you get an opportunity, you can't blow it.
So you say you what 53?
Yeah.
So you say so you shit. I'm 42.
Yeah, I started later. Then I can say to myself, had I started earlier, but I didn't move. You know, we only moved to Memphis about 16, 17 years ago. When I was living in Mississippi, we didn't have any comedy clubs, so we didn't know where to do it. So wasn't nothing I could really do about that. So I got to Memphis. I finally got the courage. It took me a while to get the courage to go out there and try it.
Okay.
You know, like I said, then I wasn't consistent with it. You know.
Right.
So like I said, so I've been consistent for about 12. Probably been working. I'd say about a good 10. So,
Okay.
Yeah. This is not for the weak. This is
it's definitely not for the weak.
This is not for the faint. You know,
because when you first get in the game, bro, you got visions of Eddie Murphy, motherfucking got doggone Richard Pryor, you know what I'm saying, kings of comedy and shit, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And but like that right there is the pinnacle of this shit, you know what I'm saying? That's a beyond successful comedian.
But people went out in 2000 went and watched the Kings of Comedy, that's great. But you got to think, if you sat down and broke the Kings of Comedy down, how long had Bernie Mac been doing comedy before he got the Kings of Comedy? Right.
And that was 2000?
Yeah.
They had already all been part of Def Comedy Jam. Def Comedy Jam was big, and that ain't what sprung them niggas.
Most of them had been in comedy at least 20 years before,
Because and I know Bob Sumner go kick my motherfucking ass if I say this, you know what I'm saying? But Def Comedy Jam ain't spring as many motherfuckers that'll let you believe it did. Now it did give people opportunity to get stage time, but it didn't spring no, you know what I'm saying?
Some it did, it got them out there. They got, they had ones like Bernie Mac that had the viral moment,
right?
When you had those things. And let me say this too. Everybody talk about Def Comedy Jam. They mentioned Bob Sumner. Let me throw Bob Sumner and Tina Graham in there together.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know.
Sometimes she don't get the credit she deserves.
The only reason I say Bob, I met Bob once.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Before I met Bob, I ain't know who the fuck Bob was. Now, you know what I'm saying?
Miss Tina Graham had a lot to do with it too. She found a lot of those guys and knew a lot of those guys and got them in the place to be. So they can be
no disrespect to Miss Tina Graham. Actually, Miss Tina Graham, if you ever see this, I would love to talk comedy with you one day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like I was saying, because like I'm just saying, like it's not, because like you say, if you think Def Comedy Jam, what was that, 92, 93?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Kings of Comedy was what, goddamn 2000?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So them boys, you know what I'm saying, they were grinding on the road. I ain't saying, you know what I'm saying, all of them, you know what I'm saying. Did Steve Harvey have the show before or after that? I know DL had his show before that, didn't he?
Now you got
I'm see, you know what I'm saying? So
Steve had a couple shows, the one with the kids, me and the boys.
Okay. See, but them niggas were Hollywood too. See, like they were in Hollywood, you know what I'm saying? Like you know what I'm saying? They were in Hollywood. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And not, you know what I mean? So that's another, that's another aspect in your face out there. You gotta take them acting roles, and you know what I'm saying? And
if that's what you want to do,
Because like I said, that's what I'm saying. Like them niggas surpassed a successful. You know what I'm saying? A successful comedian is booked every probably about what 50 weekends a year.
Yeah, some 45. They take their time off.
Yeah, right.
That's where you want to be, though.
Right.
But see, because what you just said there, it's like certain ones they get a breaks to.
Yeah.
Dude, I think hilarious, very funny. JJ from the SIP.
Okay.
JJ is absolutely hilarious. But JJ having, hard time because they keep saying, we don't understand you. We can't, You know, how do we sell you to everybody? How do you translate?
Okay.
So I mean, I don't even know who JJ is. JJ is absolutely 100% hilarious. He up there with the guy talking about like Sean Jones and them.
I can't put a face on the name.
The heavy hitters know him.
Right.
Know? But he's got to admit that's been trying to get on. But Hollywood keep telling him, I don't know what we, how do we book you?
See, but that's what I'm saying. Like that's what I'm saying. Like Hollywood, man, Hollywood a whole nother fucking beast, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like Hollywood. That's mainstream, you know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying. See, that's what niggas gotta understand when I say a successful comedian.
Yeah.
You sure what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When I say a successful comedian, you know what I'm saying? Like a motherfucker, a successful comedian, you might not never know a successful comedian.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, and then it's how do you define success?
Right.
Some people say success, if I don't have to do another day job, if I can
pay my bills, you know what I'm saying, send my kids to school, just that and third.
Some people want the fame that goes
right.
Some people just want to work clubs. Like I said, a lot of people resign to working ships and making money and coming out. So
and that's what I had to learn with this comedy. Like I had to understand what is a successful comedian, because you want to be a successful comedian, but you have to be a successful comedian before you can even be, you know what I'm saying, the elite comedian. So you have to, you know what I'm saying, you have to recognize, that's why I say you got to recognize your triumphs, you know what I'm saying, in this game, you know what I'm saying.
And a lot of people don't, man.
Right.
Yeah,
because that shit can get, you know what I'm saying, that shit can eat you alive.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to look at something that's already smoking fucking mirrors.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, I'll be honest. It pisses me off when I look, when I'm sending out avails to book and stuff, and I pull up a comedy club's calendar, and I look and see what they got, and I'm like, I know that dude.
Right.
I'm funnier than that dude.
Right.
But y'all won't return my calls or my emails or nothing. But this dude here that you got headline in your club right now, this dude featured for me last week.
Right.
At another place,
Bonds.
but he headlining over here,
right.
Y'all won't even you won't even say hey cat dog nothing to me. But
and that bro, I'm telling you, that's the bro. I'm telling you, dog. You know what I'm saying? I don't reach out to people. You know what I'm saying? And they don't get back. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, man, bro. You know you good, you know you better than some people.
Yeah.
And like, you know what I'm saying? And man, but like, you know what? When I see a lot of that shit though, I be like, bro, I wouldn't even want to be on your fucking stage now. Fuck your stage. You know what I'm saying?
I just sit back and say, okay, maybe this wasn't my time, but I know I'm funnier than this guy right here.
Right.
I know. That dude there, like I said last week, he wasn't really killing it like that.
And then you be putting motherfuckers that go on stage looking homeless and shit. You know what I'm saying?
But see, that don't even bother me, because if you're funny, then that's fine.
Right. But if you just a homeless man begging, get the fuck out of the stage.
I mean,
a homeless man begging for laughs.
Sometimes it's real disheartening, man. Like, you gotta have thick skin to stay in this and do this. You see other people, jumping over you, and you like.
And also, you gotta understand though, too, man. Like a lot of these producers, they have a gimmick they wanna stick with. Yeah. They have, you know what I'm saying. They have a look, you know what I'm saying, that they wanna stick with. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't know if you remember America's, what is it?
Got Talent?
No, there's another one before that.
Remember Top Comedian got that last comedian standing or some shit like that? Yeah.
I think it was season 2 or 3. It was Ralphie May and this other guy. I think they were Dak.
Ralphie May, that was Fat Boy?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Everybody know Ralphie May was funnier than this.
Yeah.
But the legend is, they came to Ralphie and said, like, Ralphie, we can't let you win. You 400, 500 pounds. How can we market you? What can we do with you with this?
They marketed fucking Lazo. No, I'm just
But if we talking about whoever earlier was, you know, it's like we can't really do anything with this.
With
rap,
that,
with this rap. So basically, this other kid gonna win. Knowing that Ralphie was you know, was the funniest guy,
right.
you know, R.I.P. again, you know, but they just told him we can't do nothing with this, you know. So
and again, that's why if you wait, and that's what I'm saying, dog. If you waiting on Hollywood to tell you funny, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Cause them niggas don't know funny.
You know, I used to do like comedy contests.
Yeah.
You know, I would look at it and see who's gonna be there. Like there was gonna be an actual, say, like a booker, a club owner that was gonna be there to be judging. I would sign up if it was just, you know, Lula Bell and her friends judging. I'm like, I ain't got time for that. Yeah. But if it was gonna be somebody from the actual comedy industry there, I would sign up to do it. I never cared about winning.
Right.
All I want to do is go ahead and have a good showing and let this booker, whoever see me and say, you know what, he didn't win, but I think I can use him in my club somewhere down the line. And that's all I asked. I was like, hey man, just take me, you know, get your information. I don't care about winning this thing. That don't even matter to me. It's like, do you think I find out if I can come work your club?
And that's another thing. When I'll tell a young comic, you know what I'm saying, when you doing, because I mean, I'm telling you, man, when you first jump in this thing, for me, like I said, you have these visions of grams and somebody tell you funny, you think this shit doggone, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's gonna be, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Hey, I'm Chris Rock and that, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But it's really like this shit does not happen overnight. It will not happen overnight. You know what I mean? Like, and even the best done went through, you know what I'm saying, some hard times, you know?
You know, I think one of the hardest things is when you first start out, when you first get funny and you start to believe that you funny.
Right. Because
a lot of people don't understand how addictive
being funny,
you know, that laughter is when you on stage. I understand like how much you really crave that.
Yeah.
And then once you start to get funny and you on a show and you have, you know, as we call it, you know, when you kill it.
Yeah.
You know, so you on the show on a Thursday night, man, and you kill it. Boy, your adrenaline, you on top of the world. And then you go back and look, and you ain't got another show lined up for nothing.
For nothing. Yeah. Now you like
what I do with all this now?
What Pablo Escobar on Esco when you just sitting in the swing.
What do I do with myself? You know, there's nothing else to do with this. You know, you just, I mean, the rush you just got when you kill that crowd. You came home, everybody.
And then you kill the crowd, and the shit happened at night. So goddamn, you leave all amped up. So you know what I'm saying? The place if it's a late show, so you probably gonna be up for another couple hours. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I killed that shit. Go, you know what I'm saying? Whatever you do, you know what I'm saying? If you indulge in your vices or you go study film, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not a Kobe Bryant. I'm going to fucking indulge in my vices. You probably going to study film. You know what I'm saying? That Kobe over there, I'm stack out. You know?
It's like with me. It's like. If I go somewhere and I do like a Saturday night show and I have a good show, normally if I'm trying to get home, I'll leave after the show.
Right.
And you know, because I can, if I'm 5-6 hours away from home, I can usually make it home because it's gonna take me 2 hours to, you know, to calm down.
Yeah. So you got doggone, you can go ahead and hit pedal to the metal.
You know,
yeah, I killed that shit. Yeah.
You know, then by the time I start to come down, I can stop somewhere, get some coffee.
Right.
That might take me on another 3 hours or whatever. You know, because you riding that high. You can't just do a show. You don't just do a show and go home and go to sleep. You know,
Either way the show go, you go to, you know what I'm saying. You know, I done been in a situation where goddamn, I don't want to say I bombed, but I don't want to say the audience.
If they didn't laugh, you bombed. That's pretty much.
No, they laughed, but they didn't. They laughed, but like it was. I don't know. It was weird. It was a weird show.
Yeah.
It was a weird show.
We've all had them.
Right.
We all had weird shows. We all had bomb shows.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Oh, dude, I bombed in a fucking leotard one day. I got a character called Super Nigga. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? I got a cape, you know what I'm saying? There goddamn thing. I got a cape, you know what I'm saying? But I got a character named Super Nigga and shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I went up, we were doing a comedy competition. So like you said, comedy competition. And So when I be on these comedy scenes, I'm never from where I'm at.
I got you.
You know what I'm saying?
I got you.
So I be getting in the competition, then I get in my head, so I gotta pull the rabbit out the hat. I gotta do, you know what I'm saying? All these niggas, you know what I'm saying? And then I'll try to write some new shit. So Super Nigga, instead of going in there and fucking, you know what I'm saying, telling jokes, I try to write a new set specifically for Super Nigga. Yeah, nah, that shit ain't fucking work, nigga. I'm in there in a motherfucking leotard with a cape on.
Yeah, I can shoot up on my ball.
Yeah, nah, that shit.
But you know, man, and here's the thing too about when you start traveling and going somewhere. When you start traveling, you have a good show. You got to, and you go social media. Man, I killed the crowd tonight. You got to put it on social media yourself.
Right.
But if you bomb, that bomber to beat you home so fast.
Oh yeah.
I don't know who in the room
Nigga,
that called home and told somebody I bombed out here. But you can be in your car headed home. What's up, man? You in your phone ring like, what up, bro? I heard you ate it tonight. But how you hear about that, bro?
I'm in Timbuktu, you know what I'm saying?
Boy, that bomber to beat you back home so fast, boy, it's ridiculous.
Shit, man, we done put an hour in this thing, man. Goddamn, you know what I'm saying? This conversation. You know what I'm saying? It's amazing to talk to you, man. Got doggone what you got coming up, man?
Well, you know, I'm about to wind it down. It's almost time for football for me. But
Yeah,
I got actually I'm going back to Patty's. And I'm doing
when you out there? Take me with you.
It's July. It's this month. Yeah. It's Miller. What is it, 21st, something like that?
21st.
Yeah, because I'm doing Patty's.
You headline?
And then I'm going over to that brewery over in Williamsburg. So I'm going North Carolina to Virginia, and then I'll be in Fort Worth. I think it's the 18th, not 11, 12, 18th and 19th.
You don't travel during football season? Minimum.
Yeah, minimum. Yeah, I'm gonna do one night on the Saturday. So
Okay.
But in football season, I'm.
But pro or college?
Huh?
Pro or college?
It's high school.
High school.
Yeah.
Oh, you coach?
Yeah.
Okay.
In football season, I'm locked.
Okay. That's what's happening.
Like I said, if I can pick up a good Saturday night gig somewhere one night, and I usually don't do one nighters, but during football season, if I pick up a Saturday night, I run that. Yeah.
Okay. When you down to Memphis? Down to Memphis.
Yeah.
That's what's up, man. I ain't know the man coach football.
Yeah.
Comedian extraordinaire. Yeah. Man, check it out. These episodes are gonna start coming to y'all on my Facebook page, man. It's 99 cents. I'm gonna drop some clips so y'all can see, but you gotta subscribe to see the full episode, man. I'm like I said, I host down here. I'm gonna try to get comedians, you know what I'm saying, come up, shoot the shit, man.
You have some good ones, man, because they bring these comedians in, man. They got fun, they got it, man. So most of them probably do it with you, man. Congratulations on this, man. Starting it, you got to be on social media. It's a good way to do it, man. Content is what's important. So.
Yeah, man, most definitely. Like I said, if I can, you know what I'm saying, if I can get some free content out y'all niggas.
Do what you can.
Yeah, man.
Get it while you can.
Yeah, man.
Get it while you can. So.
Well, yeah, man. Hey, man. Greg Henderson, man. Comedian out of Memphis, Tennessee, man. Pleasure talking with you. Thank you for coming, man.
No problem, man.
You have a
Enjoyed
good
it, man. Yeah, y'all look and subscribe to this, man.
Hell yeah, man.